Coach, you saw these guys less than 2 weeks ago, and I think I remember after the game you were pretty pleased with the effort of your guys. You outscored them by 3 in the second half. Do you, when you look back at that, learn from that first contest, and are there things that you can carry over into tonight?
Well, just how we played, we could carry over, but each game is different. I mean, no matter how quickly you play a team, even in the playoffs, you play teams. Back-to-back games during the season with the same team. Each game has its own identity, and we have to go out and establish earlier that we can get to the basket and finish. I think we were 11 for 43 or 47, one of the two numbers on in the paint shots. I mean, and if you shoot 11 for 43, you're not going to win very many basketball games. And it got us in a hole. And we came out in the second half and we started attacking them, and we were able to get back in the game. They did sit their starters for a long period of time in the second half, but I was pleased the way we hung in there and battled back.
You've talked about rebounding a handful of times in the recent games. Last night it was a better look for your guys. Was there anything in particular you saw that allowed them to be effective around the glass?
Well, I thought we played better defense, so that kept the ball out of the paint a lot, which allowed us to be in better position. When there's paint penetration, there's always got to be help. And when there's help, there's big guys behind the help that can get offensive rebounds. So the better we do on that, and in the pick and roll, the better we'll be on the rebounding. But, I'd like to see rebounding against a team like tonight, which is the defending champions and a team that does rebound the ball, and see how we do at night. And when I look at the rebounding overall, that's been a big problem, but it's not like we're losing by 10 or 12, every night. It's 4 or 5, 3 sometimes, but it's the offensive rebounding. And it's our lack of offensive rebounding, getting second shots. And I thought last night we had 21 offensive rebounds, which is unheard of, So to win the rebounding battle pretty much gave us the opportunity to get more shots than them, and we didn't turn the ball over as much, and we were able to win the game.
With the decision to rest Kevin, how much input does he get into that?
All of it. It's his body. I don't have any input. I hear him say, hey, I'm not going tonight, and it's okay. See you tomorrow. It's not that big of a deal. I mean, Pop's been doing it for the last 5, 6 years with his guys, so it shouldn't even be a question. Just like, is he playing or is he not? He's not playing, so we move on.
I know that it's been a bit of an up and down month at times, but obviously in the East you have some time to get yourselves acclimated and stay in the race. Is it easier to stay patient when you look at the standings, and even if you don't get off to a great start, you're not really losing that much ground?
It doesn't really matter. I try to be patient regardless, because I know it's a growing and a learning process. It's not that, I've been here, we've been 3 and 8 and, whatever, many times to start the season. You'd like to win as many games as you can at the start of the season, but it doesn't guarantee you're going to make the playoffs. And if you start off poorly, it doesn't guarantee you're not going to make the playoffs. We just want to keep getting better. Thinking about playoffs right now is not where my mindset is, and I hope it's not where the team's mindset is. It's about us trying to get better each and every night and going out and performing to our capabilities. And then when you get there, then are we good enough? And so you got to get to that one level, and then the other question gets answered.
You mentioned how much better you guys were on the boards last night statistically. Is there anything fundamentally or schematically that you guys did yesterday which you think is sustainable for improvement down the line?
No. Just one of those things. Like I said, I'd like to see us go out and win the rebounding battle by that much tonight.
Coach, two parts to this. One, just in terms of leaving record aside, is this process more challenging than you thought it would be, taking over a team that had gotten to the second round of the playoffs last year? Has it been a different challenge, or has it been about what you expected? And then
That's 3 parts.
Yeah.
Go to the fourth one. Go ahead. You had a fourth one coming up.
Other part of it was just jumping off of what you said about Pop in terms of resting Kevin. I'm wondering whether the Spurs and what they've done not just with rest, but also with minutes played and limited minutes of some of their key guys is something that informs your thinking as you figure out how you want to play?
Not at all. The only guy that I think about is trying not to get Kevin up in the 30, 32, 33, 34 minutes, 24 to 28 last night. I think he had 29 minutes, and I think that's good. But for more than the minutes is how long I keep him on the court in a stretch. And last night in the fourth quarter, I had to keep him in pretty much from 9 minutes down. So, he hadn't played but 20 minutes up until that point, and then he plays 9 minutes straight. It wasn't the 29, it was the 9 minutes straight that probably affects him more than the total minutes. So I do watch that, but everybody else, I just play and I see how they're looking and running and breathing, and sometimes somebody will tell me they need a part. I can't remember the other 3 parts you were talking about.
Generally speaking, whether it's been a bigger challenge.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. I got you. It's always a different challenge, and it's always a big challenge. Did I estimate that it was going to be a big challenge? Of course, because I'm different and new, and I have to learn all the guys that are here. They have to learn me, and then we have to start playing so that I can learn them better and they can learn me better. It's one thing in training camp and going through drills. It's another thing in exhibition season. Then you get to the regular season. And so I make adjustments, they make adjustments. So it definitely is a different challenge and a big challenge. And no, I didn't underestimate. I think, when I came in with so many veterans, I probably overestimated things in terms of what I could eliminate from practice, which was, to me, a mistake. It's always a mistake to cut out fundamentals. I think that's what training camp is for. And if I had that to do over again, we would start from square one and then see where they are. And then once you find out where they are, then you can cut out certain drills. But other than that, no.
Coach, last night you said that the Nets got back to being themselves, and I'm wondering what that means to you exactly. Like, who are the Nets when they are themselves? What you want to see from them on the floor?
No, I didn't mean like identity-wise. I meant like as individuals going out and having fun, playing, being freer, and just doing what they do best, and let's see if it's good enough. Sometimes you get hung up on a lot of different things that you have no control over anyway. And just go play the game, have fun playing with each other, play hard, play together. And I like somebody asked me about, was I stressed out? I was like, I sleep well every night, and especially when the guys go out and play hard, it's easy for me to sleep well, whether we win or lose. I mean, I can't control the winning and losing, because sometimes you play well and you lose. Sometimes you don't play so well and you win. So, do I go home and fret when we play poorly and win? No, I take the win. Do I go home and fret when we play well and lose? No, it's just basketball. So I try to keep the team in the same frame of mind that, don't get too high and don't get too low. Tonight, for me, it's a challenge for us to go out, and see if we can beat a team that's plus 500. We haven't done it yet, and see if we can back up the steps that we took last night. That's what's important to me. Win or lose, can we back up and go out and play and do some of the things that we're capable of doing against a quality team and see what happens?
Lionel, you went up against the Spurs a lot when you were in Memphis. What are some of the things that stand out to you about their sustained level of success over the last 15 plus years?
Well, first, Tim Duncan. Second, Tim Duncan. And then you move on from there to Ginobili, Parker, and all the role players that they've had with them over the years that have been really good complementary players. And Popovich. Pop doesn't get as much credit as he deserves for sustaining a culture. And along with the credit that Pop gets, you got to give credit to Tim Duncan, who's the best player on their team and has been for 15 years. One, to be coached every year differently. Sometimes Pop has brought him off the bench. Sometimes Pop hasn't played him a lot of minutes. And he also has submerged his ego to the point where he allows the players around him that are emerging, the young players, to go up and take charge. Is Duncan the number one option? No. But can you put your worst defensive player on Duncan? No. Because he's still a pretty good player. But it's not about him being the #1 scorer every night. It's about going out there and winning. I think that whole culture that's been created by Pop has been bought into by the players. And, when you have continuity like that with the coach and your best player, and then when you look at Parker and Ginobili, they've been there pretty much through most of the run themselves. So it's great continuity, and they're a great team, and they have been a great team. And Pop is one of my favorite coaches because I love the way he speaks to you guys, and to his players too. I mean, it's about coaching and teaching, and he does a great job at that.
Yeah, Lionel, just who's starting for KG?
Well, I was thinking about it, but I couldn't get enough insurance for me, so I decided to start Mirza.
Thank you.
See you after.